This is the car that cost me less than £7,000, about 2.5 to 3 grand less than it should have done after buying it from an auction with a charging fault and a couple of other ones as well, which I didn't know about, and an expired MOT. Now the charging fault we fixed in the last video. That was pretty straightforward actually, and could have been really expensive but wasn't. And the manoeuvre braking problem with the sensors, again a front parking sensor was replaced and that was solved as well. It's only got the MOT left, which is where I'm about to take it now, and on the assumption it passes, I've got about £7,200 in this car. So that's 6,800 for the car, 200 to get it towed here because obviously it had no MOT, it couldn't be driven, and then another couple £100 for the MOT and the parts I needed to fix the charging fault and the sensor fault, and the rest was just giving it a bloody good clean, getting rid of what were lots of long hair and stains on the seats. No idea what's going on there. That video was in the second channel if you missed it. Driving home, it's linked in the description of every video I've done on this channel for a long time. I'm going to drive it now, which I'm allowed to do because I'm going to the MOT station, but if it fails, I can't drive it away from the MOT station, which could be a problem because that garage doesn't do EVs, and even if they could do whatever the basic problem may be, which they should be able to, it's just probably suspension type stuff if it does fail, it's not going to be for 2 or 3 weeks, and that's going to be annoying. Once it has passed, I can then actually take it for its first drive. I've not driven this apart from moving it around the driveway. After having it for several weeks, I can actually take it out on the road to see what it's like. And I've got a bit of a conundrum because this for me is such a good deal, such a good bargain. Again, 2.5 to 3 grand less than it should have been. I kind of want to keep it as our second car. This car, which is our Seat Mii electric we've had for a few years now, and it's got half the mileage on it compared to the 95,000 this has, well, it's a brilliant second car. And although this would absolutely be an upgrade, it's clearly bigger, it's got about 50 miles more range, it's better spec'd, bigger boot, it's more capable. But it's a second car, and it's one that my wife loves, so I don't think I'm going to win that argument. I could sell that for the same amount of money that I bought this for and fixed it. So you can see why I want to keep it, but again, I don't think I'm going to win that battle. So I think the best thing to do now is to take it to its MOT and see if it passes. This video is sponsored by smarthomecharge.co.uk, nationwide suppliers and installers of home vehicle charge points. That's smarthomecharge.co.uk. Watch me get stopped by the police. You haven't got an MOT, sir? Or tax? Oh, yes, I'm driving to the MOT station. Of course you are, sir. Stupid window controls. Oh, they wind me up. I have to say now this is spotlessly clean. It is actually growing on me as an interior. Not for what it was when it was new. The interior was boring and low rent for a new car at that price. At this price, it's solid. It's just as good as the day this came out for me. It feels solid as a rock, and we've driven plenty of press cars, ID.3 press cars, that effectively, well, felt the same. Oh, that feels good. There's the air conditioning's working brilliantly. I mean, the car's only 4 years old. It's only the mileage really that tells us it's really done much. You know, 95,000 miles in 4 years. That's a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. I can tell that the grip from this rear-wheel drive car, although safe, it could be an awful lot better because this is the Pro Performance. And here we go, 200 brake horsepower, and we're at 60 already. Now, the tyres being the cheapest that the tyre guy probably sold, that's something I would normally change. I think cross climate 3 maybe sports, basically cross climates for this, especially with it being rear wheel drive in winter, would be perfect. So I'd normally stick some Michelins on that, but they're practically new, judging by the tread. It just seems a total waste to change perfectly good tyres for new ones, especially given that this is a budget car and I'm not going to probably be keeping it. If I do keep it, definitely will be getting Michelins on it. And again, I think cross climates for the winter performance that would make the biggest difference. I think the best thing to do now, as I'm approaching the MOT station that I'm not allowed to film in, unfortunately, is to fade to black until it's finished. Well, I'm driving the car, so that must mean that it's passed, and it has done, with flying colours, no issues at all, and I have to say I'm quite relieved, because suspension components can be surprisingly expensive, which is the only thing I could think of that it could possibly fail on. The brakes, everything else, I could tell were fine, so unless there's something kind of hiding, I was convinced it would pass, and it did. Yes, £7,200. You absolute beauty of a car. God, it's getting even warmer. I'll have to put the climate control back on again. Right, well, we're now in sports mode on these beautiful country roads. It's actually sunny, it's warm, and not a rattle, I tell you. Not a rattle, not a creak, nothing. You have to give it to Volkswagen for the build quality. It's got a decent amount of pickup, with this being the Pro Performance. So this is the ID.3 family Pro Performance. So we've got the panoramic roof, we've got reverse parking sensors and camera. I don't know what is standard on the ID.3 range anymore. We've got all the fancy light bars. I think the Matrix LED headlights. We've got the paint. Obviously, that was probably an optional extra. Everything in Volkswagen is. I don't know if the stereo system's been upgraded, but it seems pretty good, to be fair. And specification wise, this is one of the higher ones, I believe. Oh, the Ling Long, single Ling Long, and the other random makes are just hanging on there. She's nimble, she's fine, even on this extremely single track road. And I have to say, even though I'm only what can be no more than 2 miles from my house, I'm lost. How could I be lost 2 miles from my house? On the used market, at these prices especially, I mean the normal price, not the one I paid, the ID.3 is an absolute cracker as a used car. It's underrated. I don't normally buy cars off auctions, like, well, eBay essentially, but you know what? This has been a gamble, and it's been a gamble that was definitely worth taking, because look at what I've ended up with. Again, for just over £7,000. If I'd have taken it to Volkswagen, as I said in the previous video, then this would have cost me nearly, including the MOT, nearly £1,000 from Volkswagen themselves. And I did it for less than £200. That's obviously been a massive saving. But even with that, it'd still be a good deal. Let me know what I should do with it. Would you keep it, sell to me, or would you be sensible and listen to your wife, who ultimately is going to make the decision, and just sell it for the next content car? Because all these projects, all these content cars, which are gambles, absolute gambles, especially one with a fault, which could have been in 4 figures. I need to get the money back so I can buy the next content car. I wish I was Matt Armstrong, where I could buy a car and it doesn't matter what I do with it, because it's going to pay for itself in monetisation. I'm nowhere near that. In fact, once you include insurance costs and whatnot, barely break even. Right then, well, thank you ever so much for watching, guys. I will see you later, and please do subscribe, because I've already got my eyes on the next content car and the plan for it. And whether it's this next one or the one after that, I think I'm going to have to try and step it up a little bit. I mean, this is going to be a big gamble. Potential big expense that I will never recoup with videos and content, but will be fun. I hope to watch and ultimately to drive once we're done with it. So if that comes off, then brilliant. Please, again, do subscribe to that. And don't forget about the Driving Home second channel, which this appeared on. That's where I did the big clean video. Oh, and don't forget, for 99p a month, you can become a member. And that gets you videos 4 or 5 days before everybody else. You can cancel it anytime you like. And that essentially means that I can afford to take greater gambles, shall we say, with these content cars. You know what? It's a crap time financially for many, many people right now. And if all you can do is just like and subscribe, that's fine by me, because that's free and it genuinely helps any channel that you watch out, as does putting in an audience type comment. So it gets pushed on other people. Commenting, engaging on a channel is a good thing. So once more, thank you ever so much for watching, guys. See you soon, and I'm going to have a bit more fun in this Pro Performance, which I have to say, it does feel like a slightly quicker, not GT Golf, not quite GTI. We're not there yet, but it is good. It is fun, and I'm going to miss it. Apart from these haptic buttons, I'm not going to miss that, nor the touchscreen.